If you're an artist and you just got your first big contract, what do you do about the paperwork? That's where Jim Grace comes in. He is the Executive Director of the Arts and Business Council in Greater Boston. Welcome to Language of Business.
Thank you for having me. Welcome.
How does the business model work?
Well, so we're a nonprofit, and we serve artists and arts organizations in Greater Boston and Massachusetts. And our mission really is to help artists with the business of being an artist or a small arts organization. That's what we do.
And do you get involved before or after they get their job?
We both, actually. So in your example about the contract, so we have one of our programs is called Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts, which is about 500 volunteer lawyers, private lawyers in the private sector, who take cases from us and help artists and small arts organizations with their legal needs. So that's just one of 9 programs that we currently have.
And what are some of the other programs that you offer?
One of our programs is Business on Board. So we train business people to be on boards of arts organizations. Again, strong organizations, strong boards, and vice versa. So it's really the idea that small organizations and artists need business support. They need legal, HR, business support in order to be successful. And so our mission is to help them be successful.
And how does your organization make money?
Make money. Well, as a nonprofit, we could probably make more. So we have a mix of earned revenue and unearned revenue. So we're about a $500,000 organization, and we have fees and services that we provide, but we also have events, and we have grants that we write to foundations and individual contributors.
And are all of the lawyers, as an example, strictly donating their time, or do they get any billable hours out of it?
Very few. It's probably about 90% all pro bono. Only a small percent for artists that don't qualify for our services pro bono can get reduced fees from the lawyers. But for the most part, it's pretty much all volunteer.
And what makes an artist qualify?
Based on their income. If they reach a certain below revenue income for their year, they qualify for pro bono services. And same thing with arts organizations. If they're below a budget cap, they qualify for pro bono services. And it's about 80% of the artists and arts organizations that apply to us are pro bono.
And is this all media of artists?
Yes, it is across disciplines. And many artists are working in multiple disciplines anyway, so it's perfectly fine.
So is the income based on their income as an artist or total household income?
Total household income, yeah.
So if they're being an artist on the side, it doesn't necessarily mean that they qualify for your programs if they have
Correct.
a quote-unquote day job.
Correct. But for the most part, again, about 80% of everyone who is applying to us is qualifying for free legal services.
And do you tend to find a lot of repeat business?
Yes, I've worked with artists for 20 years. Yeah, absolutely. And arts organizations that have grown from a kitchen table startup to now fully functioning, wonderful organizations. So yes, we've seen organizations and artists thrive over many years.
You've shared office space in Boston, and who are you sharing with?
Yeah, so we created a space at Midway Artist Building, which is in 4 Point Channel, and we created a space and invited 3 other service groups, so Mass Poetry, Mass Creative, and Stage Source, and the Arts and Business Council share space together.
And what is your vision for the future of the Arts and Business Council?
The vision is to create a platform of services and programs that can respond to the needs of artists and arts organizations in a very kind of holistic, responsive, thoughtful way. That is our vision for the organization.
Now, you mentioned you're the Arts and Business Council of Greater Boston. Do you have reciprocity with other organizations across the country?
Yeah, so there are volunteer lawyers for the arts programs all across the United States, about 30 programs now in most cities in the United States. Arts and Business Council, again, is another program that's replicated around the United States. It's actually, each group is a chapter of the Americans for the Arts, as well as the Arts and Business Council. So there's Arts and Business Councils, Business Committee for the Arts, Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. Very similar idea. It's how do we get the support of the business community supporting local artists in their communities.
How do the requirements of artists change when you move from a local to a regional level?
There are certain similarities. So legal issues is one. If you're a small organization and you're hiring your first person, you might have HR issues. All organizations have space issues. So we work with them on all these issues. But the commonality of under-resourced, trying to do good work, not have a lot of internal capacity, boards that need to grow and be developed, those are common issues for most artists and most arts organizations.
Tell us about your other programs.
We have a host of different programs. We have a fiscal sponsorship program, so we become the fiscal sponsor for groups that are looking to become their nonprofits or don't want to go through that process. We have an HR program that helping with arts organizations with their HR needs. There are very few HR professionals in nonprofits, and we're helping in that kind of capacity building. We also have an exhibitions program. We have a program in Roxbury, which is like a mini MBA program for visual artists, which is a wonderful program. We also have the Walter Feldman program, which is a solo exhibition program for first-time solo exhibitioners in the arts. And we give them 6 months of business skills and support leading up to their first exhibition. So it's a wonderful program to help artists kind of get a launch in their careers.
Jim, thank you. Jim Grace, Executive Director of the Arts and Business Council of Greater Boston.